Good morning. We are waiting on Klaus. So just hop on the live. You don't need to call me. Klaus, just hop on. So we're waiting on him to come on, and we'll see. How are you all? Klaus, what's up? Klaus, it's going to ask you, what's up, Kyle Cook? It's going to ask you if you want to join. Let me see if I can bring you in. Oh, there you are. There you are. Klaus, are you getting... I sent you another invite. What's up?
I finally got the right button, you know. I haven't done that before, so I'm struggling a bit.
It's all good. You're here.
That's cool. That's cool.
Welcome.
It's such an honor. Hey.
How's it going?
Good. And how are you?
I'm well.
Yeah.
Now, what part of the world are you from?
I'm living in Germany in a town called Hanau, and that's close to Frankfurt. So centrally located in Germany.
So were you affected by the floods?
No, luckily not.
Okay.
It rained quite heavily, but it was not too bad here.
Okay.
It's
yeah. All right. So first, as you know, we get started with some questions, and after we go through the questions, we'll talk to you about your journey.
Okay, good.
All right. What word or phrase do you overuse?
Maybe. It's my filling word.
All right. Yeah. What is your least favorite thing to do?
The least favorite thing, paperwork, I guess.
Yep.
It seems to be very popular not to be popular.
Yes. No one likes doing paperwork.
No.
What is your most favorite thing to do?
The most favorite, turning wood,
Right.
actually. Yeah, and going hiking and stuff like that.
Okay. What is the one thing you would change about your spouse or significant other?
There's nothing to change. I'm happy.
What bothers you?
What bothers me?
Yes.
Well, if people being unfriendly, for example. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's Can you name one thing that motivates you?
The motivation. Well, I mean, when I get some wood and I really want to see what is it inside, and then get a piece out of a log which I already imagine in my head, and then it works out good. That's a good motivation for me.
All right. What sound makes you happiest?
Mm, the sound of a very thin vessel when you clap on it and it really feels, and you can hear the sound. It's
Okay.
the best sound. And the worst sound is if it's too thick and it cracks like hell.
Okay.
That's also happening from time to time.
Yes, you answered the next question, so
Yeah,
we'll move to the next one.
yeah.
What what profession other than your own would you like to try?
Well, maybe pottery. Pottery is something I think I would like to try. Um, I've made many different other things also in the art thing, like painting and carving and all that things. But I think I would like to try pottery once, at least, to
Okay.
see if it's the same thing like doing vessels or bowls, just the opposite way,
Right.
you know.
What would you like on your tombstone?
Pardon me? I,
What would you like
I
on your
didn't get that.
tombstone? Your grave.
Um, Here he was and turned fine wood.
All right. What is it about your personality that drives your business?
Um, well, that I'm not really focused on one thing. I'm doing many different, bowls. I'm doing vessels, other artistic pieces. It's the versatility, you can say.
Okay.
I hope so.
Right. What is it about your personality that hinders your business?
Maybe it's the same thing. It's really hard for me to maybe like other artists say doing only bowls and that's it, and they are happy with it. But I change maybe too often to from one theme to another, and then I'm liking colors again, and then not anymore for some time. So maybe it's a bit for other people to see that I'm doing many different things. So it's
Okay.
uh,
Who would you travel cross country with on a motorcycle?
uh, poo. Mm, I think I've seen you talking to John Jordan last year, and he has quite nice bicycles. I've seen these, and maybe with him because he also knows very nice wood yards, I guess, around his town. So maybe he would be the one.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
He's a good guy to know.
Yeah.
What What was your favorite concert?
Favorite concert? I think it was Depeche Mode in Nuremberg a few years ago was quite good.
Depeche
And
Mode, huh?
uh,
Very
that-
nice.
no. I could
Which
have also said many other concerts when I was more on this way to go to concerts, and doing not that much anymore because I think it's there are too many people. Just it's too crazy for me. When the
right
concerts were a bit smaller a few years ago, it was not like a whole arena or something.
now,
It's I
when you
think it's
say a few years ago, how many?
20 to 30. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Um, do you have a childhood nickname?
Oh, Klausi. So Klausi, just
Okay.
my name with an I. Yeah.
All right. When was the last time you cried?
Um, can't remember.
Okay.
I
What?
guess maybe yeah, I know, because when I think I hit my thumb, and it was like a pain like hell. And then I drilled a hole into the, to get some relief, and that was very. I cried.
It sounds painful. What impact do you want to leave on the industry?
Hmm, impact. I mean, yeah, I would like to see that my works gets appreciated and get yeah, actually bought by other people. That's I think the main thing, which I would like to see happening, because it's not so easy right now. And I mean, I really started this my business actually last year fully to do fully woodworks. Before I was working part-time a bit, and I mean, even before I had so to speak, decent job as an engineer. So,
And and did you retire or did that stop?
yeah, it sort of both. I, I got laid off due to COVID. I was working part-time in a joinery, and I run the IT business for them. And I yeah, got laid off because I didn't need any people anymore.
Okay.
So I decided it's maybe a sign. So I should try it now to do it full time, because it was always quite tricky to yeah, to switch between the jobs. I mean, I did first I did 3 days a week in the joinery, looking for the IT stuff, and doing two days my business, or yeah, a bit more depending. And yeah, it was because obviously things happening when you are not there, and yeah, so it was always a bit tricky to switch here and there. So I thought I will try it now full time.
Okay. How's it going?
But with COVID, it was not a good a good starting point, I think. So all the exhibitions and shows, um, I, as you know, had been cancelled, and I think I've been. I mean, last Saturdays this was just a little local thing to be a side dish to some musicians, and it was like a little bit of marketing. But the real last craft fair was, I think, which I could do, was last October. Just there was just a little time where it was allowed for the customers to come in with a mask, and that was the last thing for more than 1.5 years. So,
So would shows and markets be the way that you would sell your your
yeah,
products?
normally those craft shows and craft fairs, yeah,
Okay. And have they started back up in Germany?
um, I mean, they are already now starting, but I wasn't booked on any this month. I think in August, end of August, I will have the first one, which is also local here, a local crafts fair.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in autumn, I think if all is okay now, I have a couple, but you never know.
Right.
Uh, yeah. I mean, maybe we can talk also about that a bit later. But I mean, I have an online shop and so on, but it's not really starting up now. I'm maybe the SEO stuff is not working right or whatever. I don't know. Not too many people buying something online, which I think is also quite tricky for these crafts, pieces that you want to see and feel to buy online. I think it's a tricky thing.
Right, it's a challenge.
Uh,
When was the most difficult time for your business and how did you overcome it?
well, it's currently very difficult, but I'm trying to figure it out. Uh,
And how's that going? What is it you're doing to try to rectify the problem or compensate for the lack of sales?
mm, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to put many pieces into my online shop, which I'm a bit lazy, to be honest. So yeah,
Do you ever do demos?
no, I haven't done demos yet. So
They
um,
they can
maybe we,
yeah, that help trying to appeal to the
uh,
audience, get a larger following. Because I remember it took me the hardest time to convince you to do this.
really.
Yeah, I asked you a couple
Yeah,
of times. You was like, "Oh, I don't know. Let me see what the
yeah,
other guys are doing."
yeah. I mean, it was last year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
I,
you're gonna have to come out of your bag. You gotta throw
yeah,
yourself out there like we all do.
yeah. That's right. Yeah, so first I had to look up what you are doing. So I mean, I since I didn't know you personally, I just wanted to see what is it? What is it
Right.
guy
What is
doing here?
this? Right.
What is this?
Um, do you have any black friends?
Um, I in the company I worked before, I had a couple, but I mean, currently here there are not many colored people around me living here, so not anymore. But in the work where I used to work a few years ago, there were many.
Right.
And um, when I've been to the States, I think it was in 96 or so, 96, 97. I played soccer with them. I brought football t-shirts with me from some clubs here, from the Bundesliga,
Uh-huh.
because one of the guys, he was really interested in Bundesliga and he knew all the players and stuff like that. So I bought him a few tricots and brought them with me. It was quite fun.
So do you play soccer?
As a child and a youth, I played soccer, yeah, but not in a club. It was just for fun.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you often see people of color in your industry?
Mm, I don't think so.
Okay.
Very little.
Who would you most like to have a conversation with?
Mm, maybe with an wood gallery owner
Okay.
to yeah,
All
to
right.
see how he makes the selections and stuff like that.
Okay.
It'd be interesting to know.
Would you travel to the moon?
If I come back,
There are no
not
guarantees.
sure if it's really a safe thing, a safe rocket that I would do it. Yeah, but yeah, not sure.
What was your best business move?
Best business move. Well, I hope that the best business move is that I'm going all in right now and try it full time.
Okay.
Otherwise, I guess in the future, I mean, you never really know, but today I thought that maybe I should have done that already a few years ago when maybe there was a better market for crafts like it is today. But yeah, we can't
Okay.
tell.
Right. What was your worst business move?
Don't know.
Okay.
Um, yeah, maybe doing things too quick for. I mean, I sometimes get questions like, "Can you do this or that?" And I'm jumping right onto it, and I'm not really thinking about, yeah, is it really working out, or does the customer have the money to to buy it then? So I'm maybe sometimes a bit too quick on
So
taking on the
you've
thing.
had instances where you've made something and the customer couldn't afford it?
Yeah. hmm Yeah.
Okay.
I had also on one occasion there was a company asked me to do awards for them, and I made yeah, quickly I made some sketches and sent them, and they were, oh yes, that's great, and let's do a few five to six awards for, yeah, top sales representatives or so. And I did them, and then the company got uh, bankrupt, so they didn't have any money anymore. But I made the award, so and it
Wow.
was quite strange. I mean, I even delivered them because it was on the award ceremony was on the in a Frankfurt fair, and a really big fair for I think it was a fair for lightnings and electronic equipment, and I even was invited for the ceremony, and I gave them to them, and the awards were given, and I never got paid. So
So
it was not so funny.
no. So
No.
you don't require payment before delivery?
Um, right now, I would do so.
Yeah.
But I
Be-
was so, oh yeah, and everybody was so happy and so friendly, and I was a bit like, yeah, I wasn't really used to do this sort of business, like getting paid in advance and then delivering. So
Yeah, I
that's a
don't
lesson learned.
yeah, because initially when I
Yeah.
first started, I would deliver it and then I'd wait on the client to pay me. And just
Mm.
recently I'm like, we need to pay this before we deliver it. And that keeps you out of trouble.
Mm.
Because
Right.
sometimes people just take their time to pay.
Yeah,
What
that's
a-
right. Yeah.
what
And
advice? Go ahead.
no,
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone just starting out?
starting with wood turning or starting with business?
Wood turning
Uh,
business,
well,
whichever.
well, for wood
Wood
turning,
turning.
I would say, yeah, wood turning, I would say getting a course first, like doing a class for wood turning, instead of just yeah, fiddling around by your own. And yeah, business-wise, I don't have any advice because I'm a newbie as well. So I think I'm not good for giving advice there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a mentor?
Not really, no.
Okay. When was the last time you wore a tie?
Tired. Mm.
A
Usually
necktie?
I'm not too.
So when's the last time you wore a necktie?
Necktie? What's it?
A suit and tie.
Tired? You mean
A
tired?
tie,
No.
a necktie.
Oh, a necktie. Oh, okay. Um, can't remember. I think in when I maybe 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that.
Okay, so that's it with the questions. We can now get on with
Okay.
your journey. So
Okay.
I guess take us back to college or around that time in your life and how you got into woodturning.
Well, I think I can start right about after doing the normal school, like primary and secondary school in Germany. I did an apprenticeship as an electrician because I was interested in electronics and stuff like that. So I decided to become an electrician, and after 3 years, I decided it was not so like the small electronics, and it was like power electronics. So it was not really the stuff I wanted to do,
Wait
and
a
I
minute.
decided to.
So you spent a 3-year apprenticeship learning to do this.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
when it was over, you were like, I don't want to do this.
yeah, exactly. And I decided to study. So I because it appealed to me to know more about the things I wanted to do as a youth or so. Because I when I was a young kid, when my parents got a new say alarm clock or whatever, I took it apart to see how it works. And never put it together, of course. But I was always interested to see how things work, or like a television or radio or something like that. So I thought it's a good idea to study that and getting really into the details and the nitty-gritty things of electronics. And so I studied that, and when I was finished and I did the degree, I did another year of different study in the UK. It was also had to do with electronics, because at that time there were not too many jobs for engineers in Germany. So I decided to to spend a year in the UK. And after returning, a friend of mine, he told me about a job in the software business. And I said, I didn't study electronics to do software, but let's see, because I needed some money, obviously. I thought, yeah, but why not? I will do software. So I began working for a company from the US. It was a startup company from Boston, from Concord, and they were called PowerSoft. And they had called a 4GL development tool for to enabling the software developers to quickly write code. And I became a product support engineer for that product and got training, and it was really a cool time because I got also the opportunity to spend some time in the US for getting training, and it was really good. And
What part of the US were you in?
in Concord, Massachusetts. It's close to Boston.
Okay.
And I think even I can remember one time I drove down to New York City with a car, just like that. Everybody thought I'm crazy, but I thought it's like going by motorway to a different city.
Just get on the road and drive. Not that far. 3-4 hours.
Exactly. Yeah, it was was really cool. And no navigation at that time. It was just by map, and was I couldn't understand because I obviously I didn't get a parking lot in New York somehow. I thought I can just park anywhere, but it was not possible.
Right. Lots of parking regulations here.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't remember how I managed it, but I came back.
Cool.
It was really good, yeah. And yeah, and this company was bought by another US company, software company called Sybase, and that was in the late 90s, and then for yeah 15 no more yeah 15 years we yeah it was based in San Francisco, I think, the company. And but I never went to that place. We got only remote training and stuff like that. But yeah, finally, the Sybase company got bought by SAP, German software company, and yeah, after a few years, they decided my job is not needed anymore. So I got the package, and I decided to do now. And in the meantime, I think it was around 2005. I discovered wood turning, and I discovered that by I always like to look into tool catalogs. So I think at that time I got a tool catalog it was from I think Wigmark, lathe manufacturer. And I thought, oh, with that tools also you can make cool bowls. And I think I will give that a try. And I signed up for a class, a 2-day class. And it was, wow, this is really nice. I have to do that at home as a hobby. So I think after this, it was Saturday and Sunday class. I decided, oh, in the evening, I will go to eBay and buy a second-hand lathe and start wood turning. It was still in my parents' place in the cellar. So I set up a little mini studio, not to the liking of my mom at that time because of the dust and stuff.
Not a
But
mess.
it was nice, a nice start. I think the first time switching on the lathe, it was wasn't really fixed to it. So it's a chuck, and the chuck flew off somehow, and I was really lucky that it didn't hit me. It was
Yeah. It can be
it was
dangerous.
like a first sign that I have to be yeah, not so quick in switching things on before really checking everything is all right. So was my first lesson and the first day with my own equipment.
Right.
And that was 2005. And I mean, I was working full time in the meantime at that time, and I I was so hooked that I really tried to spend as much time on the lathe as possible. On the weekends, I drove home to my parents' place because I was living in Frankfurt at that time, and yeah, it was quite a good combination. I visited my parents, and I was able to do some wood turning. And I did a lot of courses with other woodturners because I did my first lesson in a wood turning school, and they had guest demonstrators for their yeah courses, like Nick Agger, um, Glenn Lucas, Phil Irons, yeah, just to name a few really great wood turners. And yeah, I survived them all. So yeah, and every time I've seen some of these great guys, I had to try it as well, and made many pieces a bit like those I had seen in the courses. And yeah, I guess that's why I'm doing so many different yeah, turning styles. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, the thing stopped that in 2015 when SAP thought I'm not needed anymore. So I said, okay, bye bye.
So,
Give
and that
me the
was
money.
right.
Yeah.
And what year was this?
So, pardon?
What year was
What?
this?
2015.
Okay, so
So it's 6 years ago. So, and the last 5 years I was doing as a part-time thing. So it was, yeah, so not a full stop between the working in the software industry and doing wood
right.
turning. So I made a uh, something for security, you can say, in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What what is it you hope to get out of your turning? What's the ultimate goal?
The ultimate goal. Um, to make the most beautiful piece ever.
Okay.
So,
All
yeah.
right. So where do you source your material? Where do you get your wood from?
um, from everywhere, you can say. I get, yeah, pieces of logs from neighbors, from people who know already that I'm always searching for new material. So they call me and say, "Oh, there's a tree fallen. Are you interested?" And I take a look and see if it's something which I would like to turn, or if it's, yeah, it's a nice wood for me. I like cherry, for example, and yeah, oak, walnut,
So
something like that. That's my things.
so when you go to pick up wood, do you bring a chainsaw, you cut it in the yard, put it in your car, or do you have it
Yeah,
delivered?
that I will come with my chainsaw and saw it on the spot to my needs, and yeah, so I can move it into the car of my caddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have like a storage shed where you keep all your wood? Did you collect a
Most of the green wood is just lying outside, ready to be turned. And if I'm not quick enough, or if I have some other wood in between, I just yeah, it becomes firewood in the end. But yeah, when I have some interesting pieces, I will quickly turn these into pieces, I think. I also have some dry wood, and I have a bandsaw where I'm cutting the dry wood mostly. So the wet wood I'm cutting most of the time with the chainsaw, and then put it on the lathe. So, yeah.
okay. Are
Very
they in
seldom I work with, for example, for boxes or so, where the movement of the wood is not so appreciated. I turn from mostly from dry wood, and I have some slabs from yes, that I collected over the years from different sources, and also from the joinery where I worked. They do also these slab tables with metal bases and stuff like that, and they have a wood dryer and so on, and I get some wood from them as well.
okay.
Yeah.
And are there any local other wood turners you work with?
I think in Hanau there's in the town where I'm living there's no other wood turner I know of, and I have some wood turning friends obviously, and there's some sort of yeah, local or regional wood turners club. It's not a real club like maybe in the US, but it's a gathering from mostly old people. But
Don't I know?
yeah, so yeah, it's I know quite a number of turners, and yeah,
Okay, so can we get a tour of the shop?
we can to let's see if my Wi-Fi is good enough. So how can I change this? So we are right now in the yeah, storage area, or what you call mess. It's there's a lot of pieces from that I have here. And
Very nice.
it's above my workshop. So here's my photo area. Let's go
Okay.
there. So here's some very new pieces I made. They haven't shown them on Instagram yet. Just a teaser, I think.
Very nice.
So this is where I'm shooting my pictures. It's very simple, just clamped on some yeah set up table like
Very
that.
nice.
And
And
here
and
is
TPJ Woodworks, what's up, man? He says, big fan of Klaus. He makes some great pieces.
oh okay,
And
thanks
and
much.
Firewood Creation says, yep, agreed.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Look, here's a very thin and like wow. So it has some movement.
A little bit.
That's lace wood, a little bit. Yeah, huge distortion happening here. So yeah, well, these flower objects, I call them. So
That's pretty
all
nice
sort of things.
with the walnut and the softwood.
Yeah, and
So
I really like also this thingy here because it has such a nice movement on the outside.
yeah,
Yeah, it's also walnut. It's
very
like an
nice.
yeah, it's like an apple. But yeah, so it's yeah, let's put it here. And everything is packed and packed away, and I keep changing it and keep. If someone asks me, "Do you have some lightning components?" Because I like to build lights, and yeah, so I put everything normally into these yeah packages here underneath, and I just pull them out, and I really lost control about it. And let's
No,
see, here's some other pieces like the ones with these big holes.
very nice. So
That's plum.
it seems like you prefer smaller pieces, or is that just what I see on that
Um,
shelf?
it's depends how big. Yeah, I mean, just I can't remove that, but I have some larger bowls like 50 to 60 centimeters.
Okay,
That's the most I. This is quite a large one here. With another
very nice.
one inside. Not natural edge.
Nice. Yeah, beautiful. Nice form. Kingfisher
Yeah,
form, the
thanks.
flower objects are beautiful. I concur. Yep.
Well, this is tulip tree. This is a bit like, do you know Melvin Firmager from the UK? I think he was one of the first people doing these, like, I think he's using eucalyptus tree for that. And I used a tulip tree.
All right.
And so
Cool.
let's
Very
go
nice.
downstairs a bit and look, it's a steep stairs. And it's not very big. It's just enough for me to do some
As
work
long as
here.
it's effective. So how many layers do
Yeah.
you have in there?
Two. I have a very small one for like pens or jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my, yeah, that's an older Tormek,
Mm-hmm.
a normal grinder. And this is a lathe I'm working with.
Okay.
It's a bit like self-built. I mean, I did the electronic part here.
Mm-hmm.
It's done by myself. And this is it's called VE.
I think the signal. You went too deep in the shop. If you can back up a little bit. I'm going to in a couple of seconds, if he doesn't, I'm going to stop it because I don't want to lose it from him. All right, so I'm going to